Hello guys, welcome back to our anime moment. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Renegade Immortal episode number 618 based on novel. So let's start. Facing the two little girls, Dao Yi immediately frowned and Wu Feng's expression became serious. He understood the meaning of their words. It seemed they had known Wang Lin for a while and had even brought a cultivator Wang Lin was familiar with. Zhu Di smiled bitterly as he looked at the two little girls. He decided to ignore them and spoke to Wang Lin. Wang Lin, tell this old man your choice. Ah, rotten old man, you dare to be disobedient. Rotten old man, I remember you. You can't beat us. The two little girls' eyes widened after they heard what Grand Empyrean Zhu Di had said. Gemini, after your reincarnation, your soul split. How is your personality still like this? This person has passed the 17th palace and now we are all here, so we will all say our conditions one by one for him to decide. Zhu Di frowned, but before he could finish, the two little girls jumped forward. Han, let us hit them, the little girl named Wa said angrily. Their two figures in the sky seemed to overlap and a shocking aura erupted. The two little girls raised their hands together and formed a circle with their bodies. Golden light came from the circle as if it had become a golden sun. The light from the sun replaced all light in the world and shrouded the four Grand Empyreans. No one could clearly see inside. Burst of rumbles came from the light. Grand Empyrean Dao Yi was the first to be knocked out. His face was filled with anger, but he didn't turn back. Instead, he flew off into the distance. The second to fly out was Grand Empyrean Wu Feng. He had a bitter smile as he retreated from the golden light. He let out a sigh and disappeared without a trace. Clearly two unruly children, to actually use the power of the 9 suns on the immortal astral continent. This is going to be a real fight. Ah. The third to fly out was Grand Empyrean Zhu Di. He frowned as he left the golden light. He waved his sleeve and all the golden light disappeared. Wang Lin, this old man will wait for your reply at Mount Emperor. Grand Empyrean Zhu Di felt rather helpless. His right hand reached at the void and he disappeared with Empyrean Exalt High Z. All of this happened in a flash. All 3 Grand Empyreans had been forced to retreat from Gemini's mad action. The golden light dissipated and the two little girls floated proudly in the sky. HMPH, little Guya, see how strong we are? The 3 of them are afraid of using the power of the 9 suns, but we aren't afraid. I know, they didn't even dare to fight. We scared them away. Guya quickly walked up and began to praise them. Grand Empyrean Gemini is really powerful. Guya admires, ah. He really didn't have much to say. He finally understood what the two little ancestors had in mind when told him they had a method when he was worried about recruiting Wang Lin. Now he knew that the method was the same as throwing a fit and scaring everyone away. While speaking, Guya looked at Wang Lin with embarrassment and clasped his hands. Guya greets the white-haired Ascendant Empyrean. This matter. I'm helpless on this matter. Senior is very famous and you have many choices, but Grand Empyrean Gemini is pure and as kind as a child. If Senior is willing to follow, they will definitely be generous with Senior. We will try to satisfy any requirements Senior has to the best of our ability. Guya bowed deeply and didn't get up. Wang Lin silently pondered and looked at the bitter-faced greed. Little Guya, why are you talking so much? Little Wang Lin, now there are no other Grand Empyreans here. We ask you, you will come or not? The little girl called Han pouted and glared at Wang Lin. This made this little girl look very cute. As Wang Lin watched, he thought about how Zhu looked when she was a child. Little Wang Lin, I saved you. Do you remember? HMPH, if you're ungrateful, I'm going to hit you. On the side, Wa's eyes were wide open and she looked like she was angry. Wang Lin smiled bitterly. Before him, Guya's expression contained embarrassment. He knew that no ascendant Empyrean would be recruited with a tone like this, especially someone like Wang Lin. Which one of those Grand Empyreans hadn't offered a large amount of benefits? This Senior Wang, Guya, was about to speak to ease the situation. At this moment, the little girl named Han Han let out a snort and floated down to Wang Lin. However, she was too small, so she had to look up at Wang Lin. Feeling like something was wrong, she immediately flew up so she was a head taller than him. She looked proud as her innocent eyes blinked and she began to threaten Wang Lin. Little Wang Lin, if you don't agree, then I'll hit you. I'll get my father to hit you. Guya said that my father is very strong. What celestial ancestor or ancient ancestor? Just write the word death, and they are all dead. Wang Lin was startled. Fake, Guya's body trembled and thought, little ancestors, you can't tell this to him. He couldn't care less about anything else and quickly sent a message to Wang Lin. These two little children. What Grand Empyrean Gemini is talking about is their mortal father after they reincarnated. They lost part of their memory after reincarnation, and I was afraid they would be sad, so I randomly said some things to them. Senior, please don't mind them. Alas. Little Guya, what divine sense message are you sending? Let me listen. Wa suddenly looked at Guya with interest and wanted to listen. However, Guya was very fast and was on guard all along. HMPH, little Guya, you are being disobedient and not letting me listen. My father is also very powerful, I'll get my father to hit you. Wa revealed a proud expression and patted Guya's head. Wang Lin revealed a bitter smile as he looked at the two little girls and sighed. He suddenly felt that compared to the other Grand Empyreans, it was these two little girls who gave him an amiable feeling. In particular, Wang Lin's eyes lit up when he looked at greed. I indeed ignored a problem before. Even with teacher Xian Luo's power, he couldn't take people out from the cave world. He could only protect them while they reincarnated. Even for me, teacher had to pay a certain price to help me leave. But greed's cultivation level is not high and he was effortlessly taken out from the cave world by Grand Empyrean Gemini. Wang Lin took a deep breath and his gaze swept by the two little girls before him. In particular, the little girl named Han Han. Her proud expression was very cute. Even after encountering an accident in reincarnation, Grand Empyrean Gemini still has such power. If they didn't have that accident, then they would have been the strongest Grand Empyrean in the Celestial clan. I wonder how she compares to Grand Empyrean Wang Lin. Most importantly, I neglected the fact that in Grand Empyrean Gemini's Purple Yang sect, there is a place connected to the cave world. Hey, little Wang Lin, you need to talk. If you don't speak, then I'm really going to get my father to hit you. Han Han looked at Wang Lin angrily. Wang Lin smiled bitterly again and nodded while Guya was feeling embarrassed. Okay, I'm willing to follow Grand Empyrean Gemini. Wang Lin's answer immediately made Han Han clap her hands, and she looked even more proud. That's right, you should have said that earlier. Forget it, I won't let my father hit you. Wa, who was on the side, was also very happy. Now that there was nothing left, she pulled Han Han to Greed, who was filled with fear. Little wolf, your performance today was not good, but I can give you some small red flowers. Han Han, how many small red flowers should we give him? Give him 5. What do you think, Wa? Let's do 6. I think 6 is easier to count. You get 3 and I get 3. Guya ignored the two ancestors abusing greed and the sounds he made. He stared at Wang Lin and couldn't believe Wang Lin had agreed just like that. Even though he had arrived late, he could imagine that the offers Dao Yi, Wu Feng, and Zhu Di had made were all amazing and could tempt any cultivator. Senior, Guya suddenly felt like he was in a dream. Wang Lin looked at the two little girl playing in the distance, patting Greed's head. Then he turned to Guya and said, however, I have a request. I can't stay with Grand Empyrean Gemini for long. I'm going to take a trip to the central continent. Then I'll go into closed-door cultivation and ignore the outside world. When I leave, you can't stop me, and if a Grand Empyrean acts against me while I'm at the central continent, you need to help me. Perhaps I will only be under Grand Empyrean Gemini for a few years. If you agree, I agree. So it's like this. Guya lowered his head to ponder. After a long time, he raised his head and his eyes were filled with determination. Yes, I can represent Grand Empyrean Gemini and promise you this. However, I hope that even if you go into closed-door cultivation, no matter how long without waiting for him to finish speaking, Wang Lin understood what he meant. Among the 5 celestial Grand Empyreans, I'll not follow another one in my life. In the celestial clan, I'll only follow Grand Empyrean Gemini. Wang Lin personally made a promise. Good. Guya's face was filled with excitement and he took a deep breath. In his view, this was very good. Even if it was only a follower in name, it was better than not obtaining anyone. After all, someone who was the #1 Ascendant Empyrean and #1 under Grand Empyreans would be difficult to keep at all times. Senior, let us return to the Purple Yang sect. Whenever Senior wants to leave, you can leave at your leisure. Senior can go anywhere in the Purple Yang sect, including the closed-door cultivation spot Grand Empyrean Gemini used before her accident. Guya clasped his hands and was very respectful. Let's go. Wang Lin looked back toward the direction of the Dawn Lin sect. It was as if he was saying goodbye to the lonely old man there. In a flash, the 4 seasons went by. When the autumn leaves died and snow fell, the holy event that happened 1 year ago not only didn't die down, but spread even more. 1 year ago, a white-haired cultivator appeared in the Celestial clan. In the Empyrean trial, he went from the 5th palace to the 17th palace and became the #1 Ascendant Empyrean. He completely replaced the fallen Ascendant Empyrean Ming Dao and stood at the peak below Grand Empyreans. This person had a head of white hair and was called the White-Haired Ascendant Empyrean. His name was also spread out by others. This person's name was Wang Lin. The name, Wang Lin, swept like a gust of wind this year. No Empyrean Exalt didn't know him, no Ascendant Empyrean didn't know him. Even most of the sect's Golden Exalt ancestors had heard of his name. Aside from the ancestors, even the sect masters and elders all knew. The 49th Ascendant Empyrean had appeared in the Celestial clan. This Ascendant Empyrean had also passed the 17th palace, making him the strongest Ascendant Empyrean. Rumors of this person spread across the entire Celestial clan. They said that this person had a soul armor and had obtained a high degree of recognition from the foreign soul. Rumor had it that this person's strength was supreme but low-key. After passing more than a dozen palaces, he didn't want to continue, but Ascendant Empyrean Ming Dao had provoked and humiliated him verbally. After that, he passed through the 17th palace and completely suppressed Ming Dao. Rumors said that Empyrean Exalt Haizi admired him, but he had coldly refused her. There were even more rumors that this person came from a small sect in the Eastern continent. Most cultivators had never heard of this sect. These rumors continued to spread across the Celestial clan. Such a figure would certainly attract the attention of all the Grand Empyreans. However, this person had turned down Grand Empyrean Dao Yi, Grand Empyrean Wu Feng, and even Grand Empyrean Zhu Di to pick the weak Grand Empyrean Gemini. Once this matter came out, all the people of the Celestial clan that had heard about Wang Lin were confused. This set off another storm of rumors. During this past year, Wang Lin had been inside the Purple Yang sect and hadn't left. Many Ascendant Empyreans had rushed over regardless of distance to meet Wang Lin and debate Dao. Anyone who came and left greatly admired him and felt even more respect. However, some remained in the Purple Yang sect. It seemed like their harvest was great in their Dao debate with Wang Lin. The Purple Yang sect became the center of attention again because of Wang Lin. The rumors of Wang Lin had slowly spread across the 36 countries of the ancient clan through various methods over the year. The appearance of the 49th Ascendant Empyrean was extremely important to the ancient clan. Not to mention the fact that this new Ascendant Empyrean replaced Ming Dao as the strongest under Grand Empyreans. In the 36 countries of the ancient clan, each of the 3 clans controlled 12 countries. When the news of Wang Lin reached Xian Luo, he opened his eyes. There was admiration and pride in his eyes. He admired that Wang Lin was able to reach such heights in the Celestial clan. What he felt most proud of was that he had found this person in the cave world and accepted him as his disciple. He should be coming back soon. Xian Luo didn't tell anyone about the matter with Wang Lin, not even the emperor of the ancient Dao clan. When this news entered the palace, the emperor was still selecting his queen. Women were brought from all over in an attempt to fuse with that wisp of soul. However, even now, he still failed and no one had succeeded. However, he didn't give up and searched on an even larger scale for a woman that could fuse with the soul. When the emperor learned about the news of Wang Lin, he didn't think this was the same Wang Lin that he hated so much. Although he attached importance to it, he didn't think too much about it. But he cared enough to launch all forces to collect information about this person. After all, this person was likely the 6th Grand Empyrean of the Celestial clan. The difference between the ancient clan and the Celestial clan was the heavenly gap of a Grand Empyrean. If not for the transcendent being that was Grand Empyrean Guodao, who normally didn't get involved with the 3 clans, the ancient clan would have already been destroyed. Grand Empyrean Guodao lived on the peak of Mount Ancient year-round. His cultivation was heaven-shattering and he was undeniably the strongest Grand Empyrean. Even Grand Empyrean Wang Lin of the Celestial clan was no match for him. In particular, Grand Empyrean Guodao was the only recorded person to kill another Grand Empyrean. His existence could be traced back to the ancient ancestor. When he became a Grand Empyrean, Zhu Di was merely a golden exalt. After the ancient ancestor and celestial ancestor disappeared, a war broke out between the ancient clan and the celestial clan. During the war, the celestial clan had 8 Grand Empyreans and the ancient clan only had 4. But when the war reached its peak and the celestials had invaded halfway into the ancient clan's territory, Grand Empyrean Guodao came out from closed-door cultivation. He went and faced countless celestials alone and fought 2 celestial Grand Empyreans. In the end, he killed both, and on his way back, he was ambushed by another celestial Grand Empyrean, but he killed that Grand Empyrean as well. After this battle, Grand Empyrean Guodao shook the immortal astral continent. That battle forced the Celestials to return, ending the war. Countless years after, because Guodao still hadn't died, he was a deterrent to the Celestial clan. Even though they had one more Grand Empyrean, they still didn't dare to invade the ancient clan. There was even a rumor stating that the Celestial clan's Grand Empyrean Wang Lin had challenged Guodao and was killed. The news about Wang Lin slowly spread out in the ancient clan that was protected by Grand Empyrean Guodao. This was also the first time the name, Wang Lin, was remembered by many people. During this year of time, Ascendant Empyrean Ming Dao seemed to have been forgotten. His everything was replaced by Wang Lin. Land of the Celestial clan, the basement of the palace in the Imperial City. Ascendant Empyrean Ming Dao was sitting in a pool of black water. The water constantly bubbled and emitted a black mist that shrouded the area. Inside the pool of water, Ascendant Empyrean Ming Dao looked like he was in extreme pain. His body was trembling, but he never left the pool and had endured it for a year. Wang Lin. Wang Lin, whenever his pain reached a limit, whenever he couldn't bear it, he would roar this name. At this moment, inside the palace, his roar echoed once more. You took everything from me. I must personally take it all back. At this moment, as he continued to roar, the black water boiled even more rapidly. The black mist entered his orifices and slowly changed his body. Return to the celestial origin law. Not even this emperor with the celestial ancestors' bloodline has succeeded. This emperor promised you to give you the bloodline of the celestial ancestor when recruiting you, a cold voice echoed in the room. Ripples echoed beside the pool and the celestial emperor walked out. Since this emperor promised you, then I'll fulfill the promise. This is the key to why the celestial ancestors' bloodline can have a Grand Empyrean. Cultivating here will give you the celestial ancestors' bloodline, and whether you can return to the celestial origin will depend on whether the hatred and grievance in your heart is enough. If you can last long enough, you can return to the origin. Return to the origin. Return to the origin. Wang Lin, I'm going to kill you. Ascendant Empyrean Ming Dao's face was distorted and he roared like crazy. However, his eyes were dim, as if his consciousness was slowly dissipating. Kill him! Kill him! As Ming Dao roared, the Celestial Emperor revealed that strange smile once more and then left. This Emperor will reproduce the glory of the Celestial Ancestor this generation. That old fellow Zhu Di is already ancient, so I'll start with him. Once I succeed, who will dare to disobey? As for Dao Yi, that person is extremely cunning. Back then, the title of Grand Empyrean should have gone to his senior brother, but he got his senior brother killed and stole the qualification. This Emperor admires such a person. He will be of great use. That Wu Feng doesn't respect the imperial bloodline at all. That kind of person should be killed. I'll take his Grand Empyrean qualification and gave it to Dao Fei. Although Dao Fei is my brother, I have spent a lot of effort on him and it is time to harvest. Finally, there is Gemini. As long as their soul doesn't fuse back to one, there is nothing to worry about. The Celestial Emperor smiled as he disappeared from the underground chamber. The Purple Yang sect of the Eastern Continent was where Wang Lin, who had shaken the entire Celestial clan, was located. Right now, it was winter and the snow formed a layer of silver over the Purple Yang sect. Aside from when other Ascendant Empyreans came to debate Dao, he had spent this whole year in one place. It was a restricted area in the Purple Yang sect. This was the Beast Farm realm. He had vaguely seen the Beast Farm realm, but after coming to the Purple Yang sect, it had changed a lot. Wang Lin had spent most of the year sitting at the edge of the Beast Farm realm. He could feel that there was an invisible barrier before him, and on the other side was a place he was familiar with, the hometown he missed. There were people he knew, the land he knew, and the planets he knew. He raised his right hand and seemed to place it on the barrier. Wang Lin's eyes were filled with melancholy and reminiscence. The aura of home, Wang Lin let out a sigh and closed his eyes. He had been here for a year and he knew he should leave. In the distance, there was a burst of bell-like laughs. The laughter of the little girls filled with joy made Wang Lin's heart very calm. Little Biaozi, don't bully Little Wolf. Little Wolf's things have all been cheated away by you. Little Biaozi, let us go down the mountain to cheat people, it's too much fun. Please, two little ancestors, please don't call me Little Biaozi, it's really not a good name. Liu Jinbiao had a bitter face as he cried and begged. As the snow fell, two people walked down from the Purple Yang sect one after the other. They were Wang Lin and Liu Jinbiao. Wang Lin had cultivated silently for the year in the aura of his hometown that he missed. During this time, his wood essence had reached completion and was close to forming an essence true body. His thunder essence true body that was fused with the special essences had been completed in the Dong Lin sect. He would no longer have to comprehend more special essences, there were enough. As for this 5-element essence true body, his wood essence was close to forming an essence true body. Only the remaining metal essence was still only at small completion. Wang Lin understood that if he could get another sword fragment, the metal essence would reach completion. Once his metal essence reached completion, even without forming an essence true body, his 5-element essences could fuse into one. At that point, Wang Lin's cultivation level would increase from mid-stage void turbulent to late-stage void turbulent and he would become a golden exalt. Finally, there were the ethereal essences. After true and false, life and death, and karma, Wang Lin comprehended the fourth ethereal essence in the Dong Lin sect, reincarnation. He had only comprehended a sliver of the reincarnation essence. It was as if he had just opened the door and obtained the seed. He would have to comprehend it time and time again to reach completion. Reaching Golden Exalt is not difficult, the difficult part will be the ethereal essences. The Imperial City is the home of the Celestial Ancestor. Perhaps there I can find the aura of the Celestial Ancestor's sword. Wang Lin faced the wind and snow as he walked forward. Heading to the Imperial City in the Central Continent from the Purple Yang sect in the Eastern Continent was an extremely long trip. For ordinary cultivators, even flying at full speed would take a very long time unless they used transfer arrays. Wang Lin's figure was covered by the wind and snow. He was gradually covered by the snow as he used spatial bending to leave the Eastern Continent with Liu Jinbiao and the Sea Dragon. Behind them, at the Purple Yang sect, stood Guya, and beside him were two little girls. They looked into the distance with unwillingness in their eyes. Will he come back? Wawa spirits were a bit down. Can we still see him? Han quietly asked while looking into the distance. Guya sighed and said, it should be possible. I already gave him the jade. If he faces danger in the central continent, you both will know immediately. This is our agreement with him. At that time, Grand Empyrean Gemini will need to go help him. Yes, that's for certain. Since little Wang Lin chose us, then we won't allow anyone to bully him. Wawa looked at Han, and both little girls nodded seriously. The central continent, the center of the celestial clan. It was vast and filled with celestial energy. At the center of the central continent was the imperial city. This city was very large, big enough to be comparable to a continent. It was endless and was the #1 city in the celestial clan. Even the royal capitals of the 36 ancient countries couldn't compare to the imperial city of the celestial clan. It was also referred to as the ancestral city in the celestial clan. In the ancestral city, there was only one sect, and that was the sect the imperial teacher came from. It had taken root and merged with the celestial ancestors' bloodline. They suffered together and basked in glory together. The sect was ruled by the celestial emperors. Each generation of celestial emperor would obtain the loyalty of the sect. Once their bloodline awakened and they inherited the title of Grand Empyrean 8 Extreme, they could change the name of the sect. This generation's celestial emperor Lian Daotian had changed the name of this mysterious sect to the Dao sect. This generation's sect master was the current imperial teacher, Shang Daoxian. This Shang Daoxuan's cultivation was mysterious and his divination power was shocking. By himself, he was able to resist the combined power of the three imperial teachers of the ancient clan. No one knew the exact location of the Dao sect, and since ancient times, only a few people had found out. However, no secret in the world could resist the passage of time. After countless years, people had many speculations. Some would say that the sect was located in a void that overlapped with the ancestral city. Some would say that the sect was in a spatial rift in the ancestral city, and the entrance was in the imperial palace. Some would say that the sect was deep underground below the ancestral city. There were many speculations, and perhaps one of them was true. The ancestral city was divided into east, south, west, and north. At the center was a restricted area. It was the imperial palace, and only those with permission could enter. In the 4 sub-cities, there were many mansions. Each mansion was a faction. They were not sects, but they had more power than most sects. Among them there were 4 kings, crowned as the strongest one in each of the sub-cities. The northern city's Li Mansion, southern city's Luo Mansion, western city's Shan Mansion, and the eastern city's Meng Mansion. These 4 behemoths suppressed the area. In addition, there was a transcendent power that could compete with the imperial power. That was the mountain between the western and eastern cities. This mountain was named Emperor. Mount Emperor. One mountain, one person, one Grand Empyrean Jedi made the entire ancestral city, palace, and millions of mountains feel like they could not breathe. Regarding the mysterious Dao sect, many people guessed that the purpose of its existence was to suppress Mount Emperor, which seemingly suppressed the imperial power. This was an internal power structure in the ancestral city that most people didn't know about, only the Grand Empyreans could see it clearly. After Wang Lin had spent a year in the Purple Yang sect, he wanted to head to the ancestral city. Grand Empyrean Gemini had used the soul fusion spell to find their memories of the ancestral city to give to Wang Lin. The celestial clan's 5 large continents were split into 72 smaller continents. The 4 seasons there were also slightly different. It would take several months for the cold wind and snow that blew past the eastern continent to cover the central continent in snow. This was the ancestral city's first snow. It was very large and seemed to cover the entire city. As the snow gathered over the eastern gate, even the lines of sight became a blur. There were no mortals in this city. This was a rare place in the celestial clan where only cultivators lived. The celestial energy here was so dense, it formed a pressure that made it impossible for mortals to live here. On this day, outside the eastern gate of the ancestral city where the snow covered the endless plain, a figure gradually appeared. This figure wore a coat and faced the wind as he walked toward the gate. His hood covered his appearance, but from his figure, it didn't look like an old man and instead was a young man. However, no matter how the blizzard blew on his body, it was unable to get rid of the ancient aura he emitted. When he was several 100,000 kilometers away from the ancestral city, the man stopped. He slowly raised his eyes, and his gaze seemed to be able to penetrate the snow as he looked at the city in the distance. Celestial Emperor. I'm coming. Wang Lin looked into the distance and allowed the snow to land on his coat and cover up his footprints. This should be my last battle in the Celestial clan. I'm going to see if the madman remembers me. Then I'll have no regrets. Wang Lin silently lowered his head. The hood not only blocked the snow and wind, it also covered his appearance. He silently walked forward. He didn't have to come to the ancestral city. He knew it was very dangerous for him, but he still came. Some things had to be done in order to live life with no regrets. Some pursued their emotions and walked down their path with determination. For their loved ones, even when facing a cliff, they would rely on their hands to slowly climb over the cliff. Wang Lin cared about his feelings for his lover, family, and friends. These were all things he didn't have much of in his lonely life, and he cherished them. Losing one would represent real loss. The madman had helped him. After the time they spent in the dream dell, he couldn't leave without seeing the madman. He wanted to see if his old friend was doing well. He had come here with such thoughts in mind. The wind blew on his body and the snow blocked his way. On the dusk of this day, Wang Lin arrived outside the eastern gate. Compared to this proud city, he was small like an ant. Unlike mortal cities, there were no guards at the city gate. This was the ancestral city with two grand empyreans and the mysterious Dao sect. Not even Xian Luo would dare to casually come here, only someone like Guo Dao would dare. At dusk, the sky was grey, and as the wind and snow blew, Wang Lin stepped through the eastern gate. His foot landed inside the ancestral city. A powerful celestial pressure pounced on him when he entered the city's gate. It was enough to make any mortal's body collapse, but cultivators could just barely withstand it. If one cultivated here, the effect was even better than the famous and big-name sects. However, this celestial pressure had no effect on Wang Lin. He had no need to cultivate this celestial energy by force. Walking on the city streets, Wang Lin looked around. Among the wind and snow, there were many pedestrians quickly walking by. Even if they had cultivation, none of them flew. They just walked around like mortals. Even dragons must coil up in the ancestral city. Even tigers must lie down in the ancestral city. Even the powerful Empyrean exalts must abide to the agreement. Is this the case? There was a flash of coldness in Wang Lin's eyes. This doesn't include me. This video will end here.